I never talked much. Words always felt too small for what lived inside me. But the garden? The garden spoke for me. Every spring, when the Seattle rain softened into mist, I'd be out there before sunrise, kneeling in the dirt with my late husband's old canvas glove. I just smiled and handed her a bouquet of the first peonies. She let them wilt in the rental car. Then one Friday in early May, my phone lit up with her name. "Mom, I'm coming next weekend. We need to talk about the house." Her voice was clipped, like she was cross-examining a witness. I knew what that meant. She'd finally decided to force the sale. I spent the week pruning, weeding, whispering to the soil the way crazy old ladies do. I wasn't ready to lose this place. The garden wasn't just flowers. It was Thomas laughing while dirt streaked his forehead. It was Lauren at 6, barefoot. "Mom." She stepped back, scanned the yard, and sighed the way people do when they smell something spoiled. "It's worse than the photos." I followed her gaze. The garden did look wild from the street. Overgrown sweet peas climbing the fence, foxglove towering like purple candles, dandelions daring anyone to call them weeds. "It's supposed to look alive," I said softly. "It looks abandoned." She slipped off her heels on the porch, traded them for the rubber boots I left by the door out of habit. "We're listing it Monday." I already spoke to a realtor. "Cash offer as is. You'll clear enough to buy a nice condo downtown." I felt the ground tilt under me. "Lauren, this is my home. It's a money pit." She walked the path Thomas, and I laid with beach stones from Discovery Park. And honestly, it's embarrassing. My colleagues think I grew up in some rural trailer. I let them believe that rather than show them this jungle. Jungle. The word lodged in my throat like a thorn. She kept talking. Numbers, square footage, closing dates. I heard none of it. I only saw her kicking at a clump of volunteer violets like they'd personally offended her. That night I couldn't sleep. Rain tapped the window like it was trying to get in. I went to the garden with a headlamp and a trowel. I dug small holes beneath the roots of the plants Lauren hated most. The unruly rose that scratched her as a child, the mint that took over every summer, the moonflowers she once said looked for. In each hole I buried a glass baby food jar. Inside every jar, a rolled-up note, a photograph, a treasure from our life together. One held the hospital bracelet from the day she was born. One held the dried petal from the corsage Thomas gave me on our first date. One held the apology note she wrote at age 9 after she cut up my wedding dress to make doll clothes. "I'm sorry, Mommy, I wanted to be beautiful like you." One held a single playing card, the Queen of Hearts, because Thomas always called me his queen. I wrote new letters too, on paper that would survive underground. "Lauren, you once believed dandelions were wishes. You're still allowed to wish. Love, Mom. Lauren, your father is in every root here. Selling the house won't make him deader, and keeping it won't make him alive. But letting strangers pave the soil? That would kill the last place he laughed. I'm begging you to remember laughter." I sealed the jars, pressed the dirt smooth, planted fresh seeds on top so no one would ever know the earth was holding our memories hostage. Saturday morning she was up early, AirPods in, pacing the kitchen on conference calls. I made coffee the way Thomas did, strong enough to wake the dead. She waved it away. "I'm showing the house at noon," she said. "Please, tidy up the yard. At least pull the weeds." I nodded, said nothing. At 11:47 a.m., the sky cracked open. Typical Seattle betrayal. Sunshine 1 minute, monsoon the next. The realtor called, canceled. Lauren screamed into her phone about rescheduling, commissions, timelines. Then she threw her heels across the living room and stormed outside in socks. That's when it happened. She marched straight to the rose bed, grabbed the pruning shears hanging on the fence, and started hacking. Not pruning, destroying. Roses older than she was, Thomas's mother's roses, flew in bloody pieces. She yanked moonflower vines until they screamed. She kicked the mint so hard mud splattered her silk blouse. "Enough," she shouted to no one. "I'm done pretending this mess is sacred." I stood on the porch, hands wrapped around my coffee mug so tight I thought it would shatter. She dropped to her knees in the mud, breathing like she'd run a marathon, and started digging with her bare hands, ripping out roots, tossing clumps of earth like she could erase 29 years in one tantrum. Her fingers hit glass. She froze, pulled up the first jar, caked in dirt, held it to the raining sky like evidence in without you knowing the truth. This garden isn't weeds, Lauren. It's the only place I still get to mother you. She made this sound, half sob, half scream, and fell against me. As the sun rises higher, the field around you begins to shimmer with life, each blade of grass catching the golden light, each bird stirring gently awake, each sound blending into a soft symphony of morning. And you realize that you have survived every moment you once thought would break you, that you have carried your own heart through darkness after darkness and still found ways to love, to hope, to return to yourself. You stand again, breathing in the warm air, and you begin to walk toward the horizon, not because you know exactly where you are going, but because you finally understand that not knowing is okay, that the journey does not need to be perfect, that you do not need to have all the answers, that simply moving forward with honesty and softness is enough. Okay, now, click 1. I'll meet you there. Until next time, keep growing, keep forgiving, and never forget. The quietest seeds make the loudest flowers. See you in the comments, family. I love y'all.